My name is Caleb Lindsay, and this is going to be my submission for week 8 in FTT 210. This is like the custom woodworking and customization class in the muzzleloader lab. Today's date is May 21st, 2025, and I'll be covering parts 2 and 3 in this video. So the first thing I actually need to do in this video is like a quick function check on my lock and trigger assembly. Super simple. I have no live ammunition. This thing is not. It has no powder in it. It's got no projectile on it. But anyways, and I don't even have the nipple on here and stuff. But so what you're going to do is you're going to charge the rear trigger. You're going to bring it to half cock, full cock, and then squeeze your trigger. Alright, that works. Alright, so for actual part 2, I'm supposed to narrate the procedure that I used to complete the muzzleloader build. It says I'm supposed to start with the unpacking of the materials and then ending with the actual function check. So I messed up, I guess. I did not save the box that all this came in, so I don't have any video of me unpacking any of it. But what it came with was the actual rifle stock itself, the lock, trigger assembly, the trigger guard. It came with the butt plate and the toe plate. It came with the barrel, the ramrod, which is actually in there right now. I don't know if I can. It's in there right now. Came with the front thimble, the rear thimble. Let's see. It also came with the rear sight, the forward sight, the barrel tenons, which are actually in there right now, and then the nipple and all that stuff that goes right here, and then all the hardware that is supposed to be on there. It also came with these 3 palm chisels that I used a whole lot. Let's see. So the first thing after unpacking was inletting my lock. Excuse me. Sorry, I almost forgot there. Inletting the lock. Okay. It wasn't too difficult. All I really did, or all that we were supposed to do, was take this right here, this Prussian blue, which basically just takes the place of the inletting black. You're going to apply that to the metal pieces that we're inletting, which in this case would just be the lock. Press it into the stock and pull it back out. It's going to show all of the high spots in and that's the material that you're going to be removing. For this, I remember I had to take out a little bit of material in the back end here to get it to fit correctly. You don't want it too tight, right? You just want a snug fit. You don't need any like creaking noises as you're installing it or removing it. And I think I got it pretty much perfectly flush on here right now. So yeah. Alright, so following the inletting of the stock, my next step was to do a preliminary brass cleanup on all the brass pieces that came in the kit. Okay, so all that really is you just, so when you have casted pieces like this, it's made in a mold, right? And the 2 sections of the mold, when they're coming together, they create like a little bit of a like a ridge right in the middle of all your brass or whatever you're casting, steel, and just had to get rid of that those casting lines on the butt plate. I had a little one on the toe plate. It was mostly on the trigger guard, and then the other one that I worked on a lot was the rear thimble. Not because of the outside or anything, but on the inside where the ramrod would be sliding through, had a lot of built up material inside of there. I probably wouldn't have been able to get the ramrod through there if I wanted to until after I cleaned it up. So after doing the brass cleanup, the two pieces that I had to inlet first were going to be the butt plate and the toe plate down here. So this section right here, this part of our work, that was, to me, that was the most difficult part. It's really the first woodworking I ever really did in my life. What it really taught me was to go slow. There's nothing wrong with going slow. I didn't want to take off too much material. I didn't realize how much material I was actually going to have to take off to get this to fit correctly. It wasn't too bad though. But yeah, definitely I learned that you're just taking off a little bit at a time, trying to achieve that perfect fit. And the way I did that was the same way that I inlet the lock. I just used that Prussian blue. I applied it to the inside sections of my butt plate and my toe plate. I kept pressing it on there. I would do like a little tap with a mallet. And then again, all the high spots came up blue and slowly chiseled away at those high spots until I got it down to where it's at right now. So to me, the toe plate wasn't quite as difficult to inlet as the butt plate here. All it really took was for me to basically measure out how far back I needed to cut or start carving into my stock here. And then once I had that, I had to grind this end into an angle using some needle files, so it would basically match up with my my butt plate. I feel like, I mean, for my first time ever, I don't think it's too bad. I wish I could have done that a little bit better though. Maybe a steeper angle into it maybe would have made it look more flush. But as of right now, I'm not too unhappy with it. All right, next up, I had the thimbles. Okay, so I got the rear thimble, forward thimble. So all I had to really do with this was, I had to inlay it first. The rear thimble took a little while. I had to remove quite a bit of material in the back end of this one. And I also had to remove a little bit of material in this channel here. Otherwise, I couldn't get it to sit in the channel. It was just elevated up a little bit too high. So once I got it inlaid, same as the butt plate, toe plate, and the lock, just, Prussian blue, cut down the high spots. But once I got that inlaid in there, I had to basically drill a pilot hole through the stock, and then drilling straight into the thimble. So you drill it all at the same time so everything lines up. And then I had to countersink that pilot hole, and then get the hardware in there to hold it. The forward thimble was much easier. It already had a hole in it. So all I needed to do was figure out where I wanted that thimble, drill a hole through the stock, a little pilot hole, countersink it, and then connect it all with hardware. After that, I had to install my barrel tenons. This was, I know that I called the butt plate earlier pretty challenging, but this one, it wasn't so much challenging. It was it was anxiety inducing because you're drilling blind, but I'll explain that in just a second. So with the barrel tenons, so you got one in the rear, one in the front here. I can't show them to you like this because I actually have them in there. It's holding the barrel to my stock right now. But what it would be like, okay, is like I can take this this sight. This is actually the front sight, but just like this, it would go into that dovetail, right? And it's going to be, like I said, holding the barrel to my stock. Now these barrel tenons were rough cast, so I had to shave down the sides a little bit to get them in there. And once they were just there, once I got to the point where they were going to be really snug, then I went ahead and took a little mallet and a punch and drove them into the center of the channel, or that dovetail on the bottom side of the barrel. And then after that is where the kind of scary part came in. So I had to measure, where I had to mark where my tenon was on the barrel. I already got rid of the Sharpie marks on the barrel, which was going to indicate where that tenon was underneath it. Then I had to measure, while the barrel was still out of the stock, from the tenon to where I did that mark. And then that's where I was going to end up putting my hole. Okay. The reason it was kind of like panic inducing a little bit is because you're just drilling blind straight into the stock and hoping that you get right into the center of that tenon, because that's where you want it. I know on the forward tenon it wasn't perfect. The hole that I actually got drilled through it is right on the edge of the back side of the tenon. So I might actually end up replacing that soon. And then all that's kind of just held together with the barrel tenon pins, which go right through the holes into the barrel tenon, and then I push them a little bit further with a pin, or a punch, just to make sure everything's being held in there correctly. While I was doing this, I know I put it in my video for the actual when we were actually doing this stuff, but I accidentally ended up busting the bit that I was using, and I did not have any more that was going to fit. So I had to go and buy more bits just so I could finish that. Yep, got that done though. After the barrel tenons is when I went ahead and inlet my trigger assembly. So this one, it kind of fit in there pretty well to begin with. I only had to remove just a little bit of material, and I had to remove material in the towards the front of the assembly, just so I could make sure that the mechanism is actually working in conjunction with the lock. But yeah, that one wasn't too bad. And then once my trigger assembly was inlet and put in there, so also with the trigger assembly, there's just one screw in the back here, and then on the top of the barrel here, I don't know if I can get that in the camera. Yeah, right there. That screw goes through the tang on the barrel all the way down into the top of the trigger assembly. That's how it's all kind of held together in there. After that, though, was the trigger guard. This was also not so bad. It fit in there decently before I inlet it. Oh, that's right. I had to remove more material in the back than in the front. I don't think there's a gap or anything in here, but I had to kind of scooch this whole thing back because the first time I tried to just put it in there to see how it fit, the back of my trigger guard was almost just kind of, it was too close to my that rear trigger, it would have caused it to not function properly. And then after that was just shaping the back half of my stock, which was mostly just the buttstock area. I actually really enjoyed this because it finally kind of started to bring it all together, I guess. One thing to remember as I was doing this was I had to make sure and keep all of my my flats flat and my curves. I ended up actually using the sanding like pads, like sponge pads, but with sanding paper on them, just for all these curves, because I knew it was gonna keep them round and smooth. It took a long time for me to get this section here down to the the butt plate. And then along with that, I had to start shaving down this bit of butt plate that was coming off of here to get it flush with my toe plate. That took a while. I don't have any like big sanding machines or anything. I just used files and stuff like that, so it took a little while. And then the last two pieces of this was installing the nose cap right here. The book said that the reason we saved that for last was just because of the amount of times that we took the barrel on and off of the stock, which is true. I took it on and off a lot, but so that was not too bad. I just had to drill 2 holes through the bottom of the nose cap after I got it all centered up and everything. And then I did have to shave a little bit of material off the front of the nose cap so it actually cupped the bottom of the barrel the way it was supposed to. I guess maybe it had a little bit too much like casting, like rough cast on it. So I shaved all that down, and now it's on there just fine. And then the last thing, or I guess second to last, was shaping the front end of my stock. Okay, what I did was I just made the transition between my nose cap and the end of my stock here flush right here. I couldn't take the material down too much underneath the nose cap just because of where I put my front thimble. But I don't know if I can get this in camera either. But what I did was I took it and it's almost like a flared out kind of thing. Where it starts kind of thin up here to match with the nose cap, and then it kind of like widens out the further you go down the stock. And then the last thing was just sanding all of this. So what I did was I just basically disassembled the whole thing again until it was just bare stock, and started with my 120 grain sanding paper. Got all the fine details that I wanted, or not fine details. All of the I don't know, I guess just the shape that I wanted in it. And then I moved up to 220 sandpaper, and that was I used that to really smooth it out. I think it did pretty good on that. I like it. It's everything feels great on it. Yeah, I think that's about it. The only other thing that was on that we had to do was get rid of all of the little dents and stuff that we've got. On the other side, this one. On the other side of here, when I was doing my tenons, I did the best I could, but that's where my bit snapped. There we go. That's where my bit snapped. I used a little bit of what was that called? That was the shellac, I think. Yeah, I tried using that, and then smoothing it out as best I could, because the basically the hole that I put in the stock with my snapped bit was too much for just steam and heat. But that's everything that we did up until just a while ago. I did my little functions check, made sure that my trigger assembly was working with my lock, and it does, so we're good. Okay, and then we have got part 3. Okay, and that just says I need to evaluate my learning experience in the muzzleloader build. What procedures did I practice that I'll be able to apply to modern firearms, and then identify and describe at least one procedure that I would likely apply to further customize or improve on my muzzleloader. So I'm new to woodworking in general, so I learned a lot in this, especially the inlaying. I think that is the one. That's the biggest thing that I'm going to be able to take with me after this class is the ability to take my time and understand that I'm moving or removing small bits of material until I can get something to fit exactly how it's supposed to be. Like if I was trying to put like an action in essentially like a blank stock, I guess. I actually kind of want to try to do that, but I know I'm not there yet. I need to keep practicing. Another thing that was kind of brought up in class. It was explained how to do it. I don't know if I'm gonna get to do this in like another class, but checkering. I really want to learn more in checkering. Um, I think it would be fun to apply to even this muzzleloader build. I think that would be fun. And then the only thing that I can kind of say is like while we were going through the class, it didn't really seem like the actual build for the Shenandoah muzzleloader. Uh, it didn't feel like it really I don't know coincided with what we were talking about in class. Oop, muzzleloader almost fell over. But yeah, that's about it. Like realistically, I really enjoyed this class. I learned a lot. Um, there was a lot of pieces of this that really made me test my patience. But it was fun, and I learned a lot.